Breaking news here to bring you as a former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez is hospitalized after being stabbed in Indianapolis overnight. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. He's now recovering after he was reportedly stabbed ahead of Sunday's game between the Colts and Las Vegas Raiders. Fox Sports released a statement confirming that Sanchez was, quote, in stable condition, but the statement did not say the nature of the incident that led to his injury. Let's pull it up for you here. This is once again from Fox Sports. It says, Mark Sanchez was injured in Indianapolis on Saturday and is currently recovering in the hospital in stable condition. We are deeply grateful to the medical team for their exceptional care and support. Our thoughts and prayers are with Mark, and we ask that everyone please respect his and his family's privacy during this time. Fox 59 Indianapolis said 2 people were injured in an overnight incident downtown. One was reported to have been stabbed and the other appeared to have been injured from a physical altercation. Fox 59 did not have information on the identities of either of the victims, but said a person was detained at the scene. Mark Sanchez entered the NFL as the number 5 overall pick in 2009 after starring at the University of Southern California. He led the Jets to back-to-back AFC championship games in his first 2 seasons. Sanchez has worked with Fox Sports since July 2021 as a game analyst. He served as an analyst for the network's coverage of the newly launched United Football League in 2021. He was set to announce the Colts versus Raiders game on Fox tomorrow, Sunday, October 5th. So we are bringing this breaking news to you here as we are learning just in our newsroom. Former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez now in the hospital after being stabbed in Indianapolis overnight. Any more developments we will bring to you on Live Now from Fox.
It was just past midnight in downtown Indianapolis when the silence of early morning was broken by chaos. Police scanners caught the call. A disturbance between 2 men near the wholesale district, right outside a cluster of late-night restaurants. One man was bleeding from the chest. The other had knife cuts on his arm. When first responders arrived, they recognized the injured man. It was former NFL quarterback and current Fox Sports analyst, Mark Sanchez. The man who once led the New York Jets to back-to-back AFC championship games was now lying on the pavement, clinging to consciousness. Sanchez was immediately rushed to the hospital, and reports began flooding in within hours. Former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez stabbed in Indianapolis, read the headlines. The story sounded surreal. This was the same Mark Sanchez who, not long ago, was calling Sunday games for Fox, laughing on set, and analyzing young quarterbacks on national television. Now, police were confirming he'd been stabbed after an altercation that turned violent. Witnesses told investigators the argument started over something almost trivial, a parking dispute. One man, a delivery driver, had his car parked in an alley. Sanchez, according to early statements, confronted him about blocking the way. Voices rose, tempers flared, and things spiraled fast. The driver reportedly pulled out pepper spray in self-defense, but when that failed to stop Sanchez, he grabbed a knife. Moments later, Sanchez was bleeding from multiple stab wounds. By dawn, the quarterback who once played under the bright lights of the NFL was in stable condition at an Indianapolis hospital. Police described the case as isolated, not a random attack, but a confrontation that escalated too far. Still, the news sent shockwaves through the sports world. For millions who knew him as the calm, charismatic face on Fox Sports, the image of Mark Sanchez in a hospital bed was hard to process. To understand how shocking this moment is, we need to rewind to the kid from California who rose through the ranks, built his name in football history, and lived his career under relentless public scrutiny. Mark Sanchez was born on November 11, 1986, in Long Beach, California, the son of Nick Sanchez, a firefighter who instilled discipline in him early on. By high school, Mark had already earned a reputation as one of the best young quarterbacks in the country. He attended Mission Viejo High School, where he trained under quarterback coach Bob Johnson, the same man who coached legends like Carson Palmer. Under Johnson's watch, Sanchez flourished. His team went 27-1 over his final 2 seasons, and he was named the top prep quarterback in America. His path led straight to the University of Southern California. USC, home of the Trojans. He arrived at a time when the team was stacked with talent and prestige. But Sanchez was patient, learning behind established starters before getting his moment to shine. That moment came in 2008. When he finally took over as the starting quarterback, he made it count, throwing for over 3,200 yards and 34 touchdowns, leading USC to a 12-1 season and a Rose Bowl victory. His MVP performance in that Rose Bowl stamped his name among college football's elite. But even then, his decision to declare for the NFL draft after just one full season as a starter sparked debate. Some said he wasn't ready. Others saw a natural leader with the poise of a veteran. In 2009, the New York Jets made their decision. They picked Mark Sanchez 5th overall in the NFL draft. New York embraced him immediately. At only 22 years old, Sanchez was thrown into one of the toughest markets in professional sports, New York City, and he handled it with swagger. He became the face of a new era for the Jets, leading a team that mixed veteran defense with youthful energy. In his rookie season, Sanchez became the first quarterback in NFL history to win his first 3 playoff games on the road, guiding the Jets all the way to the AFC Championship game. The next year, he did it again. 2 straight years, 1 win away from the Super Bowl. In those years, Mark Sanchez was a star. His confidence, charm, and good looks made him a media darling. He appeared on magazine covers, commercials, and late-night talk shows. But the pressure of being the Jets' savior eventually began to weigh on him. His performance fluctuated. The interceptions piled up, the critics got louder, and the New York media turned ruthless. Then came the moment no one would forget. Thanksgiving Day 2012, a game against the Patriots. Sanchez fumbled after running into his own lineman's backside, a play that became infamous as the butt fumble. Overnight, that single blooper overshadowed years of hard work. Injuries soon followed. A shoulder tear in 2013 effectively ended his Jets career. The team released him the next year, and from there, he began a journeyman's path through the league, from Philadelphia to Dallas, Chicago, and Washington. He had flashes of brilliance but never regained the momentum of those early Jets years. By 2019, he made it official. He was retiring from professional football. But Sanchez was never the kind of man to fade quietly. NFL team. Off the field, life seemed to be treating him well. In 2023, he married actress Perry Matfeld in a beautiful ceremony in Oaxaca, Mexico. He invested in businesses, co-founded a mezcal brand, and became a sought-after motivational speaker. To most people, it looked like Mark Sanchez had finally found peace. That's what makes this latest story so jarring. Because on the night of October 4th, 2025, that peace was shattered in an instant. Reports say Sanchez was in Indianapolis for a Fox Sports production meeting. After dinner with colleagues, he went out for a late-night drink. What happened next is still being pieced together. Police reports indicate that Sanchez became involved in a dispute with a delivery driver who had parked his vehicle near a restricted alleyway. Witnesses claim Sanchez appeared agitated and confronted the man about blocking the path. The argument escalated rapidly. According to the driver, Sanchez was aggressive, possibly intoxicated, and refused to back down. When the driver tried to use pepper spray, Sanchez allegedly lunged, and that's when the knife came out. Moments later, the quarterback-turned-analyst was on the ground, bleeding from stab wounds to his side and arm. When officers arrived, they detained the driver and secured the scene. Sanchez was taken to the hospital and placed under observation. Within hours, Indianapolis police confirmed that Mark Sanchez was not only the victim of a stabbing, but also facing misdemeanor charges. The list included battery with injury, public intoxication, and unlawful entry of a vehicle. The irony was brutal. The man who had been stabbed was also being charged. But in the eyes of the law, both men were part of the altercation, and both could face consequences. As the story broke, Fox Sports released a brief statement thanking medical staff for caring for Sanchez and asking for privacy. The New York Jets tweeted a simple message: "Prayers up for number 6. Get well soon, Mark." By the following morning, word spread across social media. Former teammates like Darrell Revis and Nick Mangold expressed shock. Fans flooded his social media pages with support and disbelief. But beneath the sympathy, questions lingered. What exactly happened that night? And what was Mark Sanchez doing in that alley at midnight? As of now, Sanchez remains in stable condition. Doctors say he's lucky. The knife missed major organs by inches. Police have not yet filed felony charges, but the case is still under review. Prosecutors from Marion County are examining security footage and witness statements to determine who initiated the confrontation and whether self-defense claims hold up. For Sanchez, this incident could mark a pivotal moment. His public image has always been tied to perseverance. He went from college star to NFL scapegoat, from meme to respected broadcaster, and just when it seemed he'd escaped the chaos of his playing days, life dragged him back into controversy. Whether this becomes another lesson in resilience or a scar that follows him for years will depend on how he handles the aftermath. In the media world, perception is everything. Fox Sports will likely sideline him until the investigation wraps. Advertisers and partners may pause collaborations. The network's internal policies on conduct and public incidents are strict. Even minor charges can trigger disciplinary review. But those who know Sanchez describe him as level-headed, humble, and resilient. They believe he'll face this with honesty, as he's done in the past. What happens next could go one of several ways. If the prosecutors determine that Sanchez acted as the aggressor, he could face fines, probation, or community service. If evidence shows mutual combat or self-defense, the charges might be dropped. Either way, the court of public opinion will have its own verdict. For fans, this story is a reminder that fame offers no protection from life's volatility. Mark Sanchez once stood at the top of the sports world, commanding huddles, leading playoff drives, and hearing 80,000 fans chant his name. He's also faced the humiliation of viral memes, career-ending injuries, and constant criticism. Through it all, he rebuilt himself as a broadcaster and businessman. And now, at 38 years old, he finds himself in another battle, not on the field, but for his reputation and recovery. Doctors say his condition continues to improve. Close friends have been by his side, and sources say he's spoken briefly with investigators. Fox Sports insiders suggest he was scheduled to appear on an NFL broadcast later this month, a commitment now in limbo. His wife, Perry Matfeld, released a short message on Instagram. "Thank you for your prayers. Mark is strong. We're focusing on healing." The Indianapolis Police Department confirmed that the delivery driver who stabbed Sanchez was also treated for injuries and released. Detectives have recovered the knife and surveillance footage from nearby businesses, which they believe will clarify how the altercation began. For now, both men's attorneys are preparing statements. Behind the headlines and legal jargon, the human story remains striking. A man who spent his life competing, leading, and reinventing himself caught in yet another defining moment. From Rose Bowl champion to media professional, from playoff heroics to public humiliation, and now from television analyst to stabbing victim, the Mark Sanchez story has seen every possible turn. As cameras wait outside the hospital and fans refresh social media for updates, one thing is certain: his recovery, both physical and personal, will take time. Whether he returns to the broadcast booth or steps away to rebuild in private, this event will be a turning point, a reminder that even the strongest careers can pivot in an instant. For now, Mark Sanchez remains under medical care in Indianapolis, stable but shaken. Police say the investigation is ongoing. Friends say he's already talking about getting back to work once he's cleared. And fans, even those who once mocked him, are rallying behind the man who time and again has proven that no setback, not even a stabbing in the middle of the night, can erase the resilience of a fighter. Because for Mark Sanchez, the story isn't over. It's just another comeback waiting to happen.